أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري.
Okay, so repeat one more time after me. Rabbi shrah li
رب اشرح لي
صدري
صدري
ويسر لي
ويسر لي
أمري.
أمري.
Okay, Jazakallah. Could you also please read the translation?
Lord, expand my mind and make my task easy for me.
Okay,
Taha, verse 26, chapter 27.
Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. We are going to start off the class just by going through our usual etiquette. So please make sure you have performed wuzu before coming to the class and make sure that your head is covered. And also do ensure that you're sitting with an adult and they should be with you throughout the whole lesson to supervise you. Again, remember your videos should be turned off. Regarding IDs, I think there is maybe one student who's got the wrong ID, so they are going to be removed from the classroom. Please remember, if you have not got your ID, this is the contact email address that you need to get in touch with. So we will not be permitting you to enter the classroom without your correct ID. So if you have got your personal name or anything else, you're now going to be put into the waiting room. So please come back to the class with the correct ID. Okay, so other points, please listen attentively to the class, even if you don't have the microphone, and only put your hands up when you've been requested. Otherwise, it becomes quite confusing for me to know if anyone's got a question. And also, please remember not to leave the classroom until you've had permission from the teacher at the end. And as always, please remember to keep revising your lessons. Just a reminder of where you can access the recordings. It is nqc.org.uk, class recordings over here, and G2, and this is our course, January till March 2018. So all of the recordings are there. Let me just go back. So you can see 19 videos have been uploaded, so the recordings of the classes are there. Please do go and revisit them to do your revision. And as I mentioned, if you have any issues, please do get in touch with the email address that's written over here, so info@nqc.org.uk. So I believe at the end of, not the lesson last week, but I think it was the previous week, N6136 had a question regarding the rule that we did in relation to Hamzatul Wasl, the blank alif. And I think her question was something like, is it after the small noon that you apply the stroke? And the answer to that question is yes. So if you remember, in continuous recitation, we do not read the alif which comes before the small noon, so it's kept short, and we read the small noon. But when we are making a pause, if we paused over there, we have to think about what stroke to apply on the blank alif which follows after the small noon. So the answer to that question was yes. Regarding what lesson we're on at the moment, so if you remember last week we did quite a bit on the different cases in lesson number 2, 10 cases of waqf. So I've just let in, so Tahmid Ahmed, I'm going to remove you, and there's also a different Jadu TV or something. Again, I'm going to remove you because I don't know who these people are. So please come back with your correct IDs. So a very quick recap of the cases we've done so far. By the end of last week, you should have covered up until case number 5. Now, I do realize because of Friday's lesson being cut short, you weren't able to go into it in as much detail. So inshallah, we will do a full recap, and we'll also go on to case 6 in today's lesson. So remembering here, case number 1, if the word is ending on a very simple fatha, dhamma or kasra, all we have to do is to remember to apply a sukoon on the final letter. So dhalika becomes dhalik, yawmi, yawm, na'budu, na'bud. So very simply, we are just applying the sukoon on the final stroke. If we go to case number 2, again, it's the same sort of thing if it carries fatha, dhamma or kasra, but also when it carries the shadda. So remember that you produce that ghunna sound, the nasal sound, and you hold that sound for at least 2 seconds. So when pausing, yadhunnu becomes yadhun. So you also hear that nasal sound when you're pausing on the noon, mushaddad at the end there. Case number 3, again, we covered. So this is when we are ending with a vertical kasra or an inverse dhamma. So here again, we are going to be applying a sukoon. So rasulihi, rasulih, yarahu, yarah. So again, when pausing, we have a sukoon applied. And just a note over here, ha does not carry a vertical fatha, which is why there is no example of that here when it appears at the end of a word. Case number 4, we looked at so kasratain and dhammatain. So this was Friday's lesson. So kasratain and dhammatain, you have to remember that on pausing, makhtumin, it will also find the final letter will be replaced with the sukoon. So makhtumin becomes makhtum, Qur'anun, Qur'an, ma'dudatin, ma'dudat, ma'in, ma'. So in all of these cases with kasratain, so that is the double stroke of kasra, or the double stroke of dhamma. So makhtum and makhtum, Quran and Quran. All of these are going to be taking a sukoon. And moving to case number 6. So we have this time, this is the case of fathatain. So remember, kasratain and dhammatain, they have a separate rule which applies. They will take the sukoon at the end. And with fathatain, it is going to basically be 2-second prolongation at the end. So either the tanween of fatha or the fathatain will be changed into an alif madda, or it will be a vertical fatha. So the important thing to remember is it will be 2 seconds prolongation when it is a fathatain. So we can see in the examples that we've got highlighted, abwaban, abwaba, tuwan, tuwa, nisa'an, nisa'a, musamman, musamma. So all of these cases with fathatain, they are going to be prolonged 2 seconds at the end when pausing. So moving on to case number 6, which is the case that we're covering today. If I select a student and they can read the explanation for me. So if I go for this time someone from Nasirat, let's have Nqc 138.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Could you please read the explanation of case number 6?
Okay. Fathatain on any letter will always change into a vertical fatha or alif madda, but this rule will not be applied to da marbuta. In case of a da marbuta with any stroke, s will change into a sukoon.
Okay. In your own words, do you think you'd be able to explain what that case is saying?
No, not really.
Okay. So what I'll do is, if I go through the explanation and then you can read the examples and tell me how you're going to apply the rule. So I'm just going to put you on mute for 1 second, and then I will come back to you to read through some of the examples. So what this is basically saying is, if you look at the previous case, in fact, if you look at the previous 2 cases, we saw that with kasratain and dhammatain at the end of a letter, on pausing on that word, it will take a sukoon in the case of kasratain and dhammatain. And then we saw that with the case of fathatain, on pausing, it will be 2 seconds elongation at the end of the word. What this rule is saying is that when even if a fathatain, dhammatain, kasratain, if any of those strokes appear on a ta marbuta, which is this one over here, or this is also a form that it takes at the end of a word when it's joined with a previous letter. When this occurs, it doesn't matter what stroke appears on the ta marbuta. It can be dhamma, such as here. It can be fatha, dhamma, fatha, kasra. You can see here it's got a dhammatain, fathatain, kasratain. Whatever stroke appears above or below the ta marbuta, in all cases, when you pause, it will always take a sukoon. So you can think of this case number 6 as an extension of cases 4 and 5, and it's a bit of an exception because it's basically saying, irrespective of what stroke is taken, it will always be a sukoon. So if we look at the very first example, we have here wal hijaratu. So wal hijaratu, we see here, it contains a very simple dhamma stroke just at the end, so 1 second if you are reading continuously. When making a pause, this will take a sukoon, so the sound will be wal hijarah, wal hijarah. In the second example, was salati, and when pausing, again it will take a sukoon, was salah. So it's that ha sound that you're going to be hearing at the end, was salah. Now I'm going to select, if I go back to Nqc 138, and they can read some of the examples. Okay, Nqc 138, could you please read the next example? First of all, read it as if you are just reciting it continuously without any pauses.
Okay. Rahbaniyata.
Very good. And if you're going to pause there, according to this rule, what change is going to happen with the ta marbuta?
That you're going to make it sound like a ha.
Yeah, and also what stroke is going to be replacing, in this case, the fatha? What do you think it's going to be if I highlight that? Any ideas? Nqc 138, any ideas? I don't know if the sound has gone. Okay, I think there's an issue with the microphone. But basically, it will be replaced with a sukoon stroke. So I'll try and get back to her. I think her microphone, or my microphone, it keeps freezing. So basically, when reading this on pausing, rahbaniyah. So remember also that we have the shadda on the ya, so we put extra emphasis on that letter. But when pausing, it will be read as rahbaniyah. And this time, let me go back to selecting the difference. So if I have A5139, Assalamu alaikum, A5139? A5139, are you there? A5139?
Hello?
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Are you A5139?
Yes.
Okay, great. So could you please read this next example over here, just but as if you're not going to stop. So in continuous recitation, please read this one.
Ghabarutun.
Read this one again. So this is fatha, remember? You read this as a dhamma. These all three are going to be fatha.
Ghabara.
Yeah, good. So ghabara, but also remember in continuous recitation, we read this fully, the ta marbuta, ghabaratun.
Ghabaratun.
Good. And when you're going to pause there, how do you think you might read this word?
Ghabaratuh.
Not toh. So this will be, remember this is going to take a sukoon. Ghabarah.
Ghabara.
Try this one for me over here. So we have tijaratan. Again, the ta marbuta, it will take a sukoon, and we're not going to hear the ta, it's going to be replaced with the ha sound. So tijaratan will become?
Tijaratah. Tijaraha.
Tijarah. Good. So tijarah, not tijaratah, because remember we're not hearing the ta sound, it's replaced with the ha. Tijarah.
Tijarah.
bifahishatin. How do you think you will pause on this?
Bifahisha.
Good, excellent, very good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to Surah Al-Waqi'ah, which is chapter 56. This is near the end of part 27. What I want you to do is can you please recite this verse for me here?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا وقعت الواقعة.
Read again for me. Read it one more time, please.
إذا وقعت الواقعة.
Okay, let's try from here. So, إذا وقعت الواقعة. So just read up to here first. Just read these two words for me.
إذا وقعت.
Good. So إذا وقعت. And now when you are joining, so you're going to join this to the lam sakin. إذا وقعت الواقعة.
إذا وقعت الواقعة.
Good. So you see over here we have the ta marbuta. When we're pausing, how are we reading this final word?
Ha.
Good. So we're going to have a second on the ta marbuta. Very good. How about in the next verse over here?
ليس للواو وقعتها كاذبة.
Excellent. Very good. And this verse over here?
جافي.
Not ja. Remember the dot is above. Excellent, very good. Okay, Jazakumullah. Do you have any questions to ask, or is that case clear to you?
Clear.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. Okay, this time let's try N6139. Assalamualaikum. N6139.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Do you have any questions so far regarding case 6 or any of the other cases we've covered?
I can't hear you properly.
Okay, give me one. Is that better now?
No.
No?
It like keeps on like from what I'm hearing, like stops and then like you finish your sentence.
Okay. Let me just try to test my mic. Okay, is that any better or is it still quite unclear?
It's still quite unclear.
Is it? Okay. Okay. Are you able to recite from here? Starting with Auzubillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا رجن
Are you still there? N6139? Okay, I'm not sure if it's a problem with my mic or hers. So I'm going to try a different student. Okay, let's try A5143. Assalamualaikum, A5143? A5143, can you hear me? A5143, are you there?
Hello?
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Is that A5143?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me either.
Hello?
Is the sound? Can you still not hear me?
Assalamu alaikum, are you there?
A5143, can you hear me?
Hardly.
Okay. Do you have your volume fully, like full on max?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay. Can I get a show of hands? Is anyone else having problems hearing me? Okay, quite a few of you can't hear me for some reason. Okay, let me see if I can just adjust my microphone for 1 sec. Okay, is that any better or is the sound still the same? So if you still can't hear me, can you please put your hand up?
Assalamu alaikum.
Is my sound okay? Is my mic working okay?
Yeah, your mic is working well.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm not sure what the issue is with the sound. Some of you can't seem to hear me, but I will continue, and hopefully the recording will catch the sound clearly. So let me continue then. Let me select a different student. Let's have A5143. Assalamu alaikum. A5143. Is the sound any better now or is it still the same? I don't think. Okay. Let's have A5145.
No, I didn't.
A5145.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Are you A5145?
Yes.
Okay, great. So could you please recite from this verse over here?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا رجت الأرض رجا.
Okay. So over here, remember we have on the jim is just a fatha, yeah? So at the moment in your pronunciation, it's a little bit too long, okay? So just 1 second. إذا رجت ال. Okay, so just read up until, if you just read the first word, so إذا رجت ال, repeat after me.
إذا رجت ال.
Good. And also over here, when you're joining the da with this lam sakin, don't pause on the lam too much. I think sometimes in the tune we can spend more time than is necessary. But again, it's just 1 second when you're joining with the lam sakin. إِذَا رُجَّتِ الْأَرْضُ رَجًّا.
إذا رجت الورد رجا.
So over here we have an example of fathatain, and when we're pausing at the end of this verse, what do you think is happening? What change is being made?
एक ज़बर.
Yeah, so we are basically dropping one of the strokes of fatha. So how long are we prolonging when we pause over here at the end of this word?
1 second.
Not 1 second. So remember, if alif madda is going to be at the end of the verse, how many seconds is that?
2.
2 seconds. Excellent. So rajjan will become rajjan. Okay. Could you please read the next verse?
Okay. وبساتي لبسا.
Okay. In recitation, you actually missed out a whole word. So, وَبُسَّتِ you forgot this one over here. جِبَالُ بَسَّا. So, you correctly put emphasis here on the scene, but when you're putting that emphasis, don't prolong the throat.
Miss, I couldn't see. I couldn't see. There was this thing came up.
Okay. Can you see it clearly now?
Yes.
Okay. So, recite the verse again from the beginning.
وَبُسَّتِ الْجِبَالُ بَسًّا.
Okay. And also, this jim over here, remember this is just a kasra. So this is just 1 second. Yeah? وَبُسَّتِ الْجِبَالُ. So very quickly, jibalu. The only thing that is going to be prolonged is the alif madda here, which will be 2 seconds. Otherwise, jibalu. Okay? So if you read that again, just paying attention to the time on this kasra stroke.
Okay.
Yeah, ba.
وَبُسَّتِ الْجِبَالُ يَسًّا.
Remember again, ba, not ya, ba. وَبُسَّتِ الْجِبَالُ بَسًّا. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, Jazakallah. Do you have any questions about any of the cases, 1 to 6?
Excuse me, you know TBA
Yeah.
is my brother, and he hasn't had a turn yet. And he's
So this, so TBA, does he not have an ID number like you have A5145? Does he
no,
not
he hasn't. No, he hasn't.
Okay. In that case, as I mentioned at the start, if you can email this address over here, info@nqc.org.uk,
We did do that twice.
and you haven't had a response.
No.
Okay. All right, that's fine. I'll follow up with that then, and hopefully see if we can get a response. Okay.
Jazakallah.
Okay, Jazakallah. Okay, so if we have this time a different student, let's have N6 161. N6 161.
Walaikum assalam.
Are you able to hear everything and see everything okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So if you can please continue reciting from verse number 7 over here.
Okay.
Starting with A'udhu Billah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فكانت هباء منبثا.
Excellent, very good. So in the case over here, we've got a fathatain. So what can you describe what the change is happening when you perform waqf at the end of the verse?
So we have to prolong it for 2 seconds.
Yeah, excellent, very good. And if you could continue reciting.
وَكُنْتُمْ أَزْوَاجًا ثَلَاثَةً.
Excellent, very good. So this time we've got an example of case number 6. We have the Talimul-Quran. And again, what do you think is happening over here?
So the tanveen changes to a sukoon.
Excellent, very good. So thalathatan becomes thalatha, very good. And if you can read it again up to here.
فَأَصْحَابُ الْمَيْمَنَةِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الْمَيْمَنَةِ.
Excellent, very good. Do you have any questions regarding any of the cases?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. That was really well read. Let's go back to Atfal. So let's have A5147.
Assalamualaikum.
A5147.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you today?
Good.
Okay, alhamdulillah, that's good. Could you please recite then from the beginning of verse number 10?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأصحاب المسأمة ما أصحاب المسأمة.
Okay, it was almost there. Just what's this letter over here?
Sa. Seen.
Not seen. So remember, seen doesn't have the dots. So this is sheen. Okay.
Seen.
This will be ashabul mash'amati, and again al-mash'amah at the end. Can you tell me what's happening at the end of this verse in case number 6 with the ta marbuta? How are we pausing on this final word?
With the ha.
Excellent, very good. So it's going to take a sukoon, so it'll be ashabul mash'amah. Very good. Can you continue reciting?
بيكون السابقون.
Excellent. And this time we have a noon which carries a fatha. So this is our case number 1. So what happens to the fatha stroke when we pause at the end of that word? What do you think it's replaced by when you pause there? If you read it as sabiqoon, what do you think has taken the place of the fatha?
السكون.
Excellent, very good. So that sound is replaced by a muted sukoon. So if you continue this verse as well, please.
أولئك المقربون.
Excellent. أولئك المقربون. So again, the fatha is replaced by sukoon. And this verse, please.
في جنات النعيم.
Good. Just again, remember, because we have our noon mushaddad, so we're going to produce a nasal sound and put extra stress. في جنات النعيم. So really try and get that nasal sound in there. If you read it one more time for me.
في جنات النعيم.
That was almost there. The only thing that you tripped up on was you break your breath in the middle of that word. So just remember that when we recite, especially with a small verse like this, try to do it all in one breath. Do you want to try one more time for me?
في جنات النعيم.
Excellent. That was really good. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. That was well recited again. So thank you very much. Let's have N6151. Assalamu alaikum. N6151.
Walaikum salam.
So there's 3 of you there. Are you N6151 speaking at the moment?
Yes, I'm N6151.
Okay, that's fine. Could you please continue recitation from the beginning of verse number 14?
Yes. Sullatum min.
As well when you start.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سلة من الأولين.
So this is an example of ya madda. So when we read it, we'll prolong for 2 seconds. Thullatum min al-awwalin. So just a very clean E sound at the end. Awwalin. Can you read the verse again, please?
سلة من الأولين.
Very good. And you can carry on writing.
وقليل من الآخرين.
Just read this one again. From
من الآخرين.
Okay, so this letter here, remember, if the dot is above, it's a kha. So really try and get that kha sound. Min al-akhirin.
من الآخرين.
Okay, good. And over here, so we can see here that the final word has got a fatha stroke. What's happening on the stroke when you're making a pause at the end of that verse?
Does it change into a sukoon?
Yep, excellent, very good. Carry on reading up to here, please.
Ala sururin. Could I start again, please?
Yeah, sure.
Ala surum rimau na.
Good. So again, this is an example of case number 6. So the dha marbuta will be replaced with the sukoon, so it will be mawdunah. So just over here, it was a little bit tricky because we've got ara with a kasratain, and we're joining it with this mim mushaddad, and then straight after that we've got our waw lean. So it's a little bit tricky when you're joining it all together, but you did manage to do it. Ala sururim mawdunah. Read that for me again.
Ala sururim mawsuduna.
Good, excellent. And just read up to here, please. And then
Muttaqina alaiha mutaqabilin.
good. Muttaki'ina alayha mutaqabilin. So again, we have just a fatha on the noon. So what is it replaced by when you're pausing?
A sukoon.
Excellent, very good. Jazakillah. Who do you have with you at the moment? So you've got N6149 as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you give her the mic this time? Yes.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Could you please carry on reciting from here, please?
Yasufu alaihim wil damummu halladun.
Okay. So just over here, first of all, this letter, this is da. Okay, so it's a thick letter. Yatufu. Can you read just this word? Yatufu. Good. Yatufu alayhim. Over here, we're joining this dhammatain with the mim mushaddad. So you're not going to hear the sound of the dhammatain, but you're going to hear a slight nasal sound when you're joining with the mim mushaddad. So wildanum mukhalladun. Can you read from here?
Wildanum halladun.
Good. So under the two letters that you see, we have a shadda on the mim and the lam. We're going to put extra stress on there. Wildanum mukhalladun. Read one more time, please.
Wildamu
Nummu.
wilhadunummu halladun.
Okay. And also over here, this letter kha, it's quite a strong letter. You really have to get in your throat to get it. Mukhalladun. Khalladun. Good. And also remember here, this waw, this is a waw madda. So we're going to be not reading it as dun, but doon. So this is going to be 2 seconds we're prolonging. Mukhalladun.
Muhalladun.
Good, very good. Okay. Can you also, if you carry on reciting actually, up until the next verse. So if you carry on from bi akwabin.
Bi'akwabin ba'aba Rika, Waka, Sin, Sinmi, Mimma, Mimma, We.
Okay, so again, over here, when you, this bar, do you know what stroke it carries underneath it? Do you know what we call it?
I forgot.
So if it's just a plain one, like under the bar here, do you know what we call that stroke? Just one?
A kasra.
Excellent, very good. So kasra. So when we have two of those underneath there, we call it kasratain. Okay, so if we have two fatha strokes, it's fathatain. If we have two dhammatain. So we have here kasratain at the end of the word, and we are joining it with a waw mushaddad. Now, if you think back to lesson number 1, remember that we covered something called partial assimilation, and that's basically where when you join this tanveen sound here with the waw mushaddad or with the ya mushaddad, you're slightly going to hear a nasal sound when you join the two, but only very slightly. So it will be akwa bilwa. Bilwa. Can you just read these two letters? Bilwa.
Bimwa.
Very good. بأكواب وأباريق.
بأكواب وأباريق.
Good, very good. Then what we have over here, we have the sin again with kasratain, but this time we are completely merging it into the mim mushaddad. وكأس من.
وكأس من.
Good. وكأس من معين. وكأس. So do in parts. So do the first part. وكأس من.
وكأس من.
Good. Then we realize that we have another mim mushaddad which needs to join completely with this mim mushaddad. So you're not going to hear the noon sakin in the middle. So وكأس من معين. وكأس. Good. So it's a little bit tricky because you've got to keep thinking ahead and looking at what rule you have to apply in the next letter. But just bear in mind when we look at partial assimilation, so when you slightly hear the sound of the tanveen coming through when you join, بِأَكْوَابٍ wa compared to the complete assimilation. So we have وَكَأْسٍ مِّن مَّعِينٍ. So in both of these places, we're not hearing the kasratain and we're not hearing the noon sakin, okay? So definitely do revisit lesson 1 in the recordings. You'll find when we covered all of that. We will move on. So this time, do you have A5144 with you?
Yeah.
Okay, can I have him next, please?
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you please continue reading on to the next verse? So verse number 20.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا يصدعون عنها ولا تنزفون.
That was almost there, but this letter was read incorrectly. What do you think you read it as? Yeah, exactly. So remember ta, the dots appear above. وَلَا يُنْزِفُونَ. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, and also, yes, I think you correctly did it, remembering the emphasis on the dal because it carries shadda. لَا يُصَدَّعُونَ عَنْهَا وَلَا يُنْزِفُونَ. Can you read it one more time?
لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون.
Excellent, very good. And the next verse, please.
وفاكهة مما يتحيرون.
Okay, so again, really try and get that kha from your throat. يتخيرون.
مما يتخيرون
Excellent, very good. And if you read just up to here for me.
ولحم طير مما يشتهون.
Okay, excellent. Jazakallah, that was well read. Do you have any questions about any of the lessons that we've covered so far? Any of the cases we've done for lesson 2?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. Thank you to all three of you. Let's have N6167 next. Assalamu alaikum. N6167.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Please, could you continue reciting from this verse over here? Starting with A'udhu Billah again.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وحور عين.
So over here, we've got an example of a dhammatain on the final noon. So could you explain what the change is that's occurring when you're pausing on there? So what stroke do you think is going to replace the dhammatain when you stop there?
I don't know.
So if I said to you, wahurun ain, this dhammatain, we're not going to hear the nun, ain, so that means that we're just going to put a sukoon there. Yeah? So that's going to replace the dhammatain stroke. Okay, can you carry on reading? So this stroke over this letter here, if you remember, this doesn't carry any sukoon, which means that because it's got no strokes, it's not going to be a waw madda, so we're not going to prolong it. It's a blank letter basically, so it's not going to be heard in the recitation. So you're only going to be reading to the length of the dhamma stroke. So كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون. So lu'lu'il, just 1 second on that dhamma. So read that again, please.
كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون.
Very good. And if you continue reading from here.
جزاء بما كانوا يعملون.
This ka and this nu, so we have alif madda and we have waw madda. Just try to make them equal lengths, so they're both 2 seconds. Jaza'an bima kanu ya'malun. So ka and nu, both the same lengths. Okay. If you read that one again, please.
جزاء بما كانوا يعملون.
Excellent. And just read up until the end of this verse, and then we'll move on.
لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما.
Good. So again, we have case number 5 here. We have fathatain, and we know with fathatain that we prolong for 2 seconds. So ta'thiman becomes ta'thima. That's excellent. The other thing is that, remember, we have again another example of partial assimilation. So we really need to hear a slight nasal sound come through when you join this waw with fathatain with the waw mushaddad. Laghwan wa.
لغوا و.
Excellent. لغوا ولا تأثيما.
لغوا ولا تأثيما.
Excellent. Okay, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah, that was well read. Thank you very much. Let's have N6135. Assalamu alaikum. N6135.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Could you please continue with the recitation starting from here?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إلا كل سلام.
Okay, so we have over here at the end of this verse, again we have fathatain. So what's happening when you pause here?
You replace it with a fatha.
So it's essentially that the ending will be an alif madda. So 2 seconds prolongation is what's going to be occurring there. Also over here, this is a fathatain, so we're going to hear the sound illa qilan salaman salama. Okay, so if you read all of them again, I just want to try to hear that fathatain come through.
Okay. Illa kislan salaman salama.
Okay, good. Illa qalilan salaman salama. Could you please continue on to the next verse?
Okay. وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين.
Excellent, very good. Let's make it a tiny bit longer because we have ya madda. Ashabul yamin.
What is that? Ashabul Yamin.
Very good. And the next verse, please.
Fi sidrim ma'zud.
Again, so we have, remember when we have waw, sakin, when we have waw, ya, and alif, those are our 3 madda letters. So we have over here an example of waw madda, so we're going to give it 2 seconds. So it'll be fi sidrim makhdud.
Fi sidrim ma'zud.
Just make it a little bit longer, makhdud.
Mahzud.
Good. And also over here, we are joining the ra with kasratain with the mim mushaddad, so it's going to be a nice solid join. Fi sidrim makhdud.
Fi sidrim mahzun.
Good. And if you carry on to verse 30, please.
Watalhim manzud.
Good, excellent. So remember, this is our waw madda, so 2 seconds. Okay, that's fine. Jazakillah. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Jazakallah.
Jazakillah. Thank you very much. Let's have A5158. Assalamu alaikum. A5158.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Are you following the lesson okay so far?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So could you please read from verse 31 then, from Wadhillin?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وظل ممدود.
Just make, because we've got the mim mushaddad here, you really want a lot more emphasis on when you're joining. So wadhillim mamdud. Really hold that mim sound when you're joining it.
وظل ممدود.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. And if you carry on over here.
وماء مسكوب.
Good. And the next verse.
وفاكهة كثير.
Good, yeah. So now just do that one more time and do it all in one breath so there are no breaks in between.
وفاكهة كثيرا.
Okay, so wafakihatin. So remember, this tin is it's very much part of that word, so we don't want any breaks there. Wafakihatin kathirah.
وفاكهة كثيرة.
Excellent. And if you just read the final verse, and then we'll wrap up.
لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة.
Excellent, very good. So again, we have the ta marbut at the end, so it's going to take a sukoon. لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة.
لا مقطوعة ولا لا ممنوعة.
Excellent, Jazakallah. Any questions you'd like to ask?
No, Jazakallah.
That's fine, Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. So I hope that's been a useful recap. So just as a sort of summary sheet, you can see over here we've got all of the cases we've done so far. So case 1, Fatha Dhamma Kasra, the change will be that the final letter will take sukoon, which you can see here. Then we have exactly the same, but this time it will take with a shadda, so we have to remember to produce that nasal sound even though we're pausing, and it will be replaced by sukoon. Even in that circumstance, we're still remembering to make the nasal sound on the mim or nun mushaddad. Case number 3, we have vertical kasra or inverse dhamma. Again, it takes sukoon on pausing. Case 4, kasratain or dhammatain, they will take sukoon. Case number 5, fathatain. Either you'll have alif madda or vertical fatha, but the important thing to remember is that in both cases it will be 2-second prolongation. And case number 6, remembering that ta marbuta, whatever stroke it carries, it will always be replaced with a sukoon, and it will be a ha sound that will be manifested when you pause there. So tijaratan will be tijarah. So I hope that's quite straightforward. Again, the best way to practice is in your recitation, pausing on all words that you come across for practice. I'm going to take one more student to read the final prayer, and then we will, inshallah, conclude this. So if I can ask A5160 to read the final prayer. Assalamu alaikum, A5160. A5160. Are you okay to read on your own, or would you like to repeat?
I can read on my own.
Okay, so if you read the final prayer, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لي إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة.
Excellent. And if you can read the translation, please.
O Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance and the mercy.
Okay, Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. And thank you for everyone for attending the lesson. And inshallah, see you in tomorrow's lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.